We're glad you come to hear the stories today of these impassioned Alaska Native women. The YWCA Alaska started the series nearly 8 years ago as a way to introduce Anchorage residents to the vast cultures now represented in our community. And Alaska Community Action on Toxics is proud to expand our ongoing conversation on environmental health and justice in our state. ACAT has served communities in Alaska since 1997, providing technical assistance to stop the proliferation of toxics in our land, air, and water. I'd like to introduce our facilitator today, Diane Benson. Diane is a professor in Alaska Native Studies at the University of Alaska. In addition to running for public office, Diane is best known for her success in sharing the Elizabeth Bratrovich story, first as a one-woman show performed statewide and nationally, and then as a PBS documentary, For the Rights of All, Ending Jim Crow in Alaska. Under her presentation in theater skills, Diane has taught at the National Judicial College in Reno, served as a keynote speaker to several national conferences on justice for victims, assisted women in recovery with workshops, and helped to produce and narrate the video Pathways to Hope, Healing Child Sexual Abuse, an instructional video for rural Alaska. She also edited the poetry for the text used at UCLA, sharing our stories of survival, Native women surviving violence. In her lifetime mission with film, video, and stage, and radio, she has been social awareness and community improvement. Diane is active with the Military Order of the Purple Heart and has served the Alaska Native Sisterhood, the Municipality of Anchorage's Americans with Disability Act Commission, and Healing Racism in Anchorage. And I'd just like to add that Diane, through her intentionality, has elevated the platform for the discussion on violence against women and has helped improve our state for future generations. Please help me welcome Diane.
I hope I can live up to that. Today's my birthday, and I get to share it here. I thought this is the perfect thing to do, because I see birthdays as not a bad thing, but as a thing that I lived another year. And given some of the extraordinary obstacles, I figure it's cause for celebration for many of us to live another year, especially with all of our parks. I think its name is Case. I'm from the Akdane Tan clan, and I see a clan brother in the back over here, Ryan. And I come originally from Sitka. It's an honor to be involved with this very important discussion. I can tell you, coming from Sitka, that there's all different forms of violence there, as there are everywhere, and that includes the environment. So I've been asked to say a few words first about the course I teach, Native Women Surviving Violence, Societal Attitudes and Response, before introducing the guests. Worldwide, in 2012, every day, hundreds of millions of women of every race and walk of life fall victim to violence. In my course, in order to intimately examine the reality of violence against women, we focus on one population. That way they learn what violence is. They research societal attitudes and identify problems and seek solutions instead of just lament the problem. Such examination increases the sensitivity to the issues and the impact of violence on any human being, on life. In the United States, though, Alaska Native women experience violence at a rate higher than any other population per capita. We must know how we came to be in this position, where more than 3 out of every 4 American Indian and Alaska Native women are physically assaulted in their lifetime. That is why I have them look at traditional roles and value of women originally, and how that changed with occupation, war, acculturation policies, development. We look at judicial systems and laws and what is and is not enforced. So I ask my students as well to follow the money, because who benefits when others are oppressed? Who receives the funds to assist women and who doesn't? Usually it's politically motivated, sometimes not usually, but sometimes. Who profits? Exploitation of land and resources seems to be central to a system of oppression anywhere. Kill the spirit of woman, kill the tribe. Kill the soul of the tribe. And it's not that murder is necessarily a policy in this country, but a society that claims to care about life seems curiously incapable of controlling hatred and violence towards Native women. My passion isn't just about Native women and their survival, but I am a Native woman and I have been victim. I'm a survivor. But it's all women and it's all life. Profit and control benefits someone. You know, medical experiments and forced sterilizations happened to Native American women and Alaska Native women right up into the 1970s. A lot of times people don't know that. Those who could do something about it often remain silent. Toxic waste dumps exist on or near reservations more than any place else. Why? Are Native lives not as important? Who around us in any situation are empowered and who are not empowered? So this could not be a more timely and urgent topic. Violence against women in the form of environmental violence. Violence isn't decreasing and won't without action, without having the ability to speak about it, as we were just talking about. It's uncomfortable discussion. Fatal violence in any form is the final act of oppression. Thoughts, beliefs, and attitudes had to happen first, and they had to fester, and then they had to justify. Now let's think about women that we can disregard in this society sometimes. First, it may be tolerating violence against prostitutes. Turn a blind eye to violence against women in prisons, which is going on right now. Ignore violence against homeless women. Shrug off violence against undocumented aliens, and so on, until it's on our doorstep, or your doorstep. Violence is increasingly being tolerated. Violence against women is popular entertainment. Violence against women increases with economic strife. And for all the rhetoric about safety, victims of rape, domestic violence, torture, and murder are failed by a systemic lack of protection and the linked disregard for environment. That sounds grim, but I'm always hopeful. Because you're here. We're all here. And although our understanding as a society has been slow to improve, coming together like this builds hope and change. We open our eyes, and by doing so, we can open others' eyes. We can hold each other up, and by doing so, we can hold up others. We can nurture each other, and the belief that all human beings were created equal and deserve dignity. So today, we will examine an emerging topic for the general public, but one that is not new to the communities who come face to face with it in everyday life. Environmental violence. It is their reality. Earlier this year, for the first time ever, the theme of Indigenous Women and Environmental Violence was presented at the United Nations Permanent Forum on Indigenous Issue Expert Group meeting. Therefore, we're going to hear about this today from some awesome speakers. He came and spoke to my class, as a matter of fact, last spring. And it was so enlightening for my students. And we're so lucky to have her here today. She will, I don't have an introduction other than to say, presented for me, but other than to say she will share about her travels to New York. She is an extraordinary activist and speaker on this subject. And I feel very fortunate that we have her here today. Therefore, she will talk about her trip to New York and her attendance at the United Nations meeting and what events led up to this remarkable event. So please help me welcome this extraordinary woman.